too, but remember we are talking about cargo systems, so will be freight quotation, will be quotation for import-export operations. Those quotations, you can do it based, again, this is a spot quotation. It's not like a general rate table or something for a customer to choose. This is a specific condition for a specific operation, okay? So this, if you see here, something that you need to notice is when you open the quotation or model, let's say, you will always have that structure here. If you click in quotation, in the right panel, you will be the content. That is quotation list and quotations. In quotations, you will see the template of the document itself. And then in the quotation list, you will have a list of all the different quotations that you have in your company with different status, the ones that are complete, the ones that were lost, the ones that are in process, the ones that were won. Okay? And then if you want to print or see any specific quotation itself, you have templates. Maraya have templates in every model. Maraya have a lot of different templates, and also those templates you can customize. Remember, today you are learning Maraya. Today you are Maraya, let's say, ambassadors. Okay, you are not working in Cargotrans or in Tech Cargo or whatever. This is you learning how to use Maraya. So this is, again, at some point, if you have the skills of someone has the skills that are needed, you can customize those documents. Those documents are customizable. We make those tools available for whoever have the skills to execute it. Okay. But this is how it looks one of the templates. But if you need to change that at any point, you have to know that we have several options here. You can go just to the actions and then change that template there. Since we don't have any quotation right now, you can't do nothing right now, okay? Because we have none in the list. So, what is jobs? What is jobs? This is very important for you to know, because jobs before was only available in the supply chain.
I have a question.
Products. Yes.
So the quote piece, is that also in the WMS section, or the quotes only in the cargo? You know?
In the dump, yes, it is. Yes, you have it, because today, before we had only the WMS product. Now the WMS is like a WMS distribution. So you will have there the ability to quote. Yeah. Because now we change the products. It's more complex. But quotations is the thing is, maybe you in WMS you won't have a cargo quotation because you are not supposed to import or not. Yeah.
Different template.
Different.
Same concept.
Same concept. So you will see now, because that quotation here, you will be using, like if you see later, you have a more, let's say, rates, because you can have your own rates defined here. What is that? If you see here, you have the rates model, right? So that rate you will see later, how is that related with the quotations. That rate normally in a freight forwarding it will be like the pricing department, the people who work with pricing. So, jobs. Let me tell you, jobs is important. Jobs, I just recently was added to the cargo system because what jobs does is like concentrate operations. Let's say you have a multimodal operation. Let's say that you have an operation that is coming from China to, I don't know, to Manzanillo in Mexico. Remember, it's not just from Miami. My guy is not just from Miami. I'm not preparing you just for operation usually executed in Miami. Let's spread out that concept. But it's very common in Central America, for example, to have those kind of operations. You receive something from Manzanillo, from Mexico, and then it goes by land to Panama, let's say. So you have there. They use word like a DO. The concept is called DO, and then it's a complete operation that you have. The first part is ocean, and then we have a ground, okay, inland process that is international too, because it's from Mexico to Panama, let's say. Sorry, to Guatemala, it's common to Guatemala. So in that case, let's say that, okay, I want to have everything. I want to oversee the result of that operation. How much is costing me, the whole process. You know, how much I am earning in the whole process. Again, you can have also carga proyecto. I don't know if you know those projects where you are like importing some you know, rail, those rail locomotive or plane parts. There are those big you know, parts that are, yeah, turbines and for the eolic energy. Those used to be project. It's not only one shipment. It's not only one container. It's huge project with more than one shipment. So if you want to work with those projects, that is the case of the jobs. You can concentrate all those operations in one place, so you can oversee and net every operations at once instead of going shipment by shipment. You don't have a way to know if that will be good or not for you. You know, at the end of the day. So that is the option that you have now with jobs. Also, again, if you have import and then the warehouse, and then you have to local delivery using UPS or FedEx or something, you can also distribution. You can also have this in a job and see the whole result. That is the meaning of jobs. And then bookings. Okay, bookings. In bookings, you will have two components, and it's important you to understand here. Remember, I won't mention it again because everywhere you want to have quotation list, booking list, shipment list, everything will be in that way. And then the quotation is the document itself, and then the list is all the transactions. That is the way it works. So bookings are triple scheduled. Inside bookings, we have bookings and we have triple scheduled. What is the difference? Bookings is your customers' bookings with you, okay, as a freight forwarder, as an agent. And then the triple schedule is your bookings with the carrier. Let's say that you are big enough and you have the power. I know that not all companies have that capability to have a regular schedule with a carrier. Okay, I have twice a week 5 days with China Shipping, with Maersk, with MSC, or you know, that is the case of the triple schedule. You can have a regular schedule with an airline company or with an ocean carrier. If you have that there, you can use it because what that will allow you to have a control where is the next vessel leaving and how much space do I have available to allocate the cargo that my customers are requesting from me. Okay, that is the difference between triple schedule and bookings. Okay, so whatever customer calls you, saying, okay, I want to send, I don't know, I want to export a container of anything to Venezuela or to Trinidad and Tobago. So this is the customer booking, because what small freight forwarders do is just do the booking, call an agent, and just ask if they have a spot there that they can handle that cargo for you. You know, that is common.
Question. You said to schedule that will be with the carrier. So does it mean that it has a link with, let's say, the airlines or the shipping lines?
Actually, it has. It has. If you, we have a plugin. There is Intra. We are connected. Marai is connected with Intra, and then through that type of schedule, you will be your bookings with the carriers. Through Marai, and then it will be available there. Yeah. And then you can allocate those bookings. We wanna go step by step. Now just the concept for you to understand what each part means. Okay? But we wanna see a sample of how to do a booking, how to allocate a booking in a type schedule, and then how to consolidate that booking schedule into a shipment at the end.
What's the booking list? What's the booking?
Yeah, the booking list will be the list of your
Of all bookings?
of all bookings with the status and if you are related or not.
Between you and your customer, you say,
Yeah,
to the freight forwarder, whoever, and the customer direct.
yeah. The bookings is your customer, the importer, exporter with the freight forwarder.
So we receive containers from a number of NVOs. So we receive delivery orders from 15 different brokers. In theory, we could use that booking sheet upon receipt of a delivery order or a pre-advised of a container being booked and coming up. So we're, 2 to 3 weeks out. And right now, we're very hard copy driven. So we get the email with the PDF, we print it out, we put it in a file.
No,
You got 15 people looking at an email and you don't know if it's out there or not. If those container numbers, because it's not validated by anything, we can go to the booking screen, book those, we could put those container numbers in there with an ETA date of port arrival, if you will, and basically use that as a foundation of our
perfect.
database for, instead of all the folders and all the other.
Yeah, that's a good application for that. Yes, you can do that. You can do that. And also again, you that booking is also commonly used as a routing order or as a shipping instruction. Your delivery order could be a shipping instruction. Because I think if I understood that delivery order is as a shipping instruction that you are receiving, and this is exactly the bookings. Because before that, what is confirmed, you can just with a simple right click create the shipment. Yes, that is exactly the one use that you can do that.
Oh, so if we enter all the information in the bookings,
Yeah, you don't have to enter again.
data entry only needs to happen one time. Once I get
One
there,
time.
once I get to delivery, or I can change the status.
You can change that and everything. And if something needs to be updated, you can update it. But whatever you type it will be there. And then remember that booking will be a house after when you create the shipment, that will be a house. So that is booking, guys. And then the trip schedule is, like I said, is your schedule with the carrier, even if it's American Airlines or Lufthansa or is a carrier, an ocean carrier. Okay. So warehousing. If you see, it's still Cargo City is not intended to be working with warehouse, but we have that minimum resourceable warehouse here because in case you need to do a reception of cargo somewhere just to after that release, you will have that option there. And then we wanna be like showing you how is that process done. Okay? But yes, you can create here, and I'm gonna show you. You have all those options in the warehousing model. You can do pickup orders, warehouse receipts, you will have cargo releases, and then cargo moving list, and you can even have locations created there. Okay? But again, this is not the scope of this course. The scope of the course will be the import-export operations. So, and now the most important thing for today actually will be the maintenance, and let me tell you, it could be boring now talking about the maintenance, but pay attention because it's one of the most important things in knowing Magaia, in knowing actually any systems, because in that maintenance is when you want to build the house, you want to create everything, the basics that you will need to actually use the software in production later on. Okay, so that model is very, very important, and we will be going back there. So the rates I was explaining before, the rates is the pricing. It's the pricing requirement in case you have one. Remember, everything here is in case you have it. You don't have to use it. But again, you are not customers. You are not Magaia customer today. Today you are my student, and then you are getting certified in Magaia. So, rates. What is rates? You want to have there the carrier rates. You want to have the client rates, and then the standard client rates. Okay, I think that is clear. The carrier rates is the rate of the carrier that you have. Let's say you have you can have a contract or not for those carriers. When you should be using those rates there, if the rate that you have for a certain carrier will be valid for more than 30 days. Okay, let's say ocean mainly, because I know that air is more dynamic. If you have a rate that changes every week, don't put it here because it didn't work. It won't be like useful because you have to type just if you have the 8 in Magaya, you enter manually the spot rate.
But
Okay?
for air contract rates, it's,
Yes, if you have a contract, use rate would be great. Why? Because using that list here is not. It would be great to make quote because you can just query those rates later, and then the other thing is that list here in a certain carrier or client rates, you will have a whole list with all the information about those rates. And the thing is, let's say that the rate is that rate will expire in 20 days or in 1 month. That specific rate. Magaya will put it automatically as expired for you. And then you want to have, but it won't be like it being like disappearing from Magaya. It will be there. So in the future, you can evaluate. When you be negotiating another contract, you want to have information from all rates, from all carriers that you have to see how was the behavior of the rates before. You know, that is something that you want to have there for business intelligence. That you can, that you can use. So that is the advantage of one of the advantages that you have having those contracts, those rates there. So that is the carrier rate. Client rates. When you should be using client rates. When you have a certain customer, that big account that someone have, sometimes it's the account that allows you to open your company in a fair place. That customer, if it is big, and you can offer them a contract too. Let's say I can keep that rate for you for 6 months, or for 2 months, or for whatever time more than one month. You can create that rate for that customer. That's what client rate means. And then the standard client rate is your rate. Let's say the minimum sale rate that you will have in your company. You can use that for if you have salesperson, you can use it like it's minimum, and then the salesperson won't have access to your carrier rate. They won't have access to your cost. You want to build that standard rate based on your cost, that is your carrier rate, and then you will be given access to the salesperson to your standard rate. Right? So instead of using the cost.
That will be through their credentials when you create.
Yeah.
When you send the image.
Yeah. We wanna do exercises about the rates too, because you can, this is my cost, that's what the pricing department does. They have the cost, they put like a 5%, let's say, or whatever margin you want to put in the system of your company, and then you create with that margin the standard client rates, and then this is the rate that your salesperson will be using to sell the freight.
Can you differentiate those rates? So if you have one customer in 2 different divisions, call it 2 different regions, there's a Miami division and a Northeast division. If you have one customer in those 2 areas where they have different rates, is that rate, does that get set up inside of a division, or does it get set up at the top and you can see?
But when you say division in Magaya?
Yes, talking about different locations. So
But
you
you're
have
using
a
one
guy-
Magaya that is.
You have a guy in Miami and a guy in Northeast, and you have a customer in there, it's $100 in Miami and $200 in Northeast. Do you have to go into each division and do that, or can you do it into one and set it up in different divisions?
No, you can do it in, you will be doing it in Magaya, only one Magaya,
Okay?
and then, actually, to that point,
You have to do them twice, one
Yeah.
in each division.
no, I think that you don't have, it will be available for both divisions, but the same rate, not different rates.
What if it's a different rate?
Yeah, that's what I have to take a look at the city. Once we be doing the exercise, let's take it. Yeah, we'll check it out. Okay, guys, that is the rate. Is that clear? Do you understand so far? Everything clear, okay? So, accounting. I know that everybody have like and special care about accounting. So we have that model, that accounting model here. Okay, when you're gonna have chart of accounts, items and services, invoice list, bill list, payment list, deposit list, and check list. Okay, what that means? The first two here is definition. Okay, don't get confused. This is definition. The same thing that we'll be doing in maintenance with customers, venues, and everything. The chart of accounts and the items and services, we need to define that once before going live with the system. So someone, I don't know if you're accountant or yourself or whoever will be taking care of that part, have to have a chart of accounts. Of course, Magaia have its own. Magaia, when you install it, it comes with a chart of accounts, the most common used for freight forwarding, and then it comes also with items and services. But you can delete everything and put your own there, just for you to know. Okay? And again, this is one time input information here, and then you will be using it through the systems every day to the end of the day. Okay? Invoice list, invoice is what you are charging your debitors, your customers. Okay? Bills, what you are paying for your vendors. Payment list, every time that someone pays you an invoice, Magaia will create a payment receipt for you. So whatever is here is because an invoice was paid. Okay? And deposits is when you do a payment and then you didn't deposit to the bank. So you can go later and deposit that amount in the bank. You will see, remember now it's just the concept, okay? And checklist is every time that you pay your vendor, you're gonna have a check in your system. That is generally what that means. And then you have, again, we wanna like learn here exactly this list here, what is linked to the operation. We are not going deeper in journal entries or balance sheet or nothing because you are not accountant and this is not the purpose of the course. Okay? And then you have one folder for export shipment. Everything that is outgoing shipments will be export shipments. Everything that is incoming shipments will be import shipments. We only recommend to inside that folder you create your own structure, like a folder for the year, for month, or for customers, but you need to fragment that list somehow there. Okay? Something else that I will be recommending, and just a pause here. You are seeing this received electronically. Everything that you receive from Magaia Network will be placed in that folder. Okay? So, again, guys, I know that it probably is a common practice for you, but the shipment never use those folders here because maybe your company you will have like a lot of folder here. Never use those folders to navigate. It's hard, it's difficult, and it's not user-friendly to use the list of the folders of the shipment to go or to search or to find or to go through the list. You have to learn, and you will learn here because we have a time for this. Is if you want to work with shipments, always use shipment list. That is the goal here. The best thing that you have is the shipment list. Shipment list, I call it also a control panel because you will have all the information that you require at a glance. You don't have to go anywhere, you don't have to open it. You can build different views, you can build different reports inside the shipment list with every piece of information that you need for a decision making at any time. If a customer calls you, you can tell whether the shipment is in transit or is loaded or is ready or is waiting for any documentation or we have a red channel or whatever happened, you want to have it here in a list. You don't have to go one by one, okay, month and the customer, spending a lot of time just to find something. We want to be doing that again. So, that is Magaya. That is the way the operation and every transaction is fragmented inside the system. Okay? So what we need, one information that is very important is that neighbor ID here. That neighbor ID that is in the right upper corner is your unique identification of Magaya. Everywhere, anywhere, this is unique for you. Nobody else has that number. So every time that you call support or you need something or is disconnected or you are calling accounting, whatever, okay, my neighbor ID is that. And then with that number you will get identified. Okay? So, maintenance. That maintenance folder here is where everything starts. We have Magaya installed. We already know what means every folder in Magaya. We know what are the components of Magaya, the communication suite, the database, and now we need to understand what is the maintenance components to fill it correctly, and then we can use it later in production. Okay? So, in maintenance we have the configuration. The first things that we want to see here is configuration. Configuration is the general configuration of the system, okay, of the interface. Now I'm going to show you here every piece of this. Guys, I know again, we have to go through it. Try to pay attention. Drink water, wash your face, don't get, bored because this is important. And I know that is sometimes how do I need to do that? Because from here, anything that happens there is influenced by something that you did here in the configuration. Okay? So, in general, you will see this information here. Allowed automatic creation of events. Everything here, normally the way it comes in Magaya is the way it will work fine for most of our customers. But if you need to change something, you can do it. What is important to know here? For example, this show Magaya tips. If you realize when you are opening anything here in Magaya, you have this, you have those tips here, Magaya tips. You see, when you can click and then you want to have some advice, some tips there. That is what that means there in that configuration. Okay, if you unclick it, you won't have any tips. The working day period. You want to ask what that means. Okay, this configuration is here because in case you are using Magaya for 10 years, for 5 years, and then you have a lot of operations, Magaya, like enormous list, you don't have to, every time that you open a shipment list or you open a booking list or an invoice list, you don't have to see everything from 5 years before. So what you can do is to simply set up here from when you want to have those transactions available. And then doing that, the list will be limited. It doesn't mean that the information will disappear from your Magaya, but it will be limited to be shown up to that date. Okay? This is what that means. Working day period. Yeah, you can select. You can say, okay, let's do it 90 days behind, or you can say from that day to that date. And then save. So that is the general configuration. Company. This screen we already see it through the wizard, remember? So now you can come here, as I said, and then you can select what type of company you are. Okay? and then go here to the logo and select your logo and put it here, because doing that, the logo will be available for all your documents, your templates inside Magaya. Okay? So, what is here? Accounting. You see? Again, I'm not recommending you to change anything of this, because the way it is the way it works. But today you are getting certified, so you have to know. You have to know what that means and how to change it. In accounting, you have tabs. The first tab, main, you can define where your account period will be closed. Okay? And then if you set up that and restrict the access with a password, that means that after that time, if you close today your account, after today, nobody but the one holding that password can change an invoice or a payment or a bill before that period. Okay? Well, that's what that means, this accounting here. The default payment terms, 30 days, but you can choose from the list. Okay? You can even add or configure more in another segment. So, what would be the default charge type, prepay or collect? Everybody knows what is prepay or collect, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, because let me tell you, there is cases. I was implementing a customer in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, and then she was fighting because he said, "But collect? Why collect if I'm not collecting anything?" You know, and it was difficult to explain what collect means. So, the home currency, remember, home currency, normally it is the currency of the country where you are operating. It doesn't mean, because it happens a lot in other countries, not in the United States. No matter if all the invoices that you do are in dollar or in euro, the home currency is the currency of the country. If you are in Canada, it's Canadian peso. If you are in Europe, it will be euro. If you are in Brazil, it will be real, and so on. Okay? No matter, because Magaya is multi-currency. The only thing that you have to do is to add other currencies to the list. But your accounting, your balance sheet, and everything that you will be reporting, your retained earnings, everything have to be in your currency, the currency of your country, the one that you will be paying taxes. Okay? So if you want to use, where do you select your currency? Here, in that list here. Okay? You have all the currencies. And then, but you have to enable multiple currencies. And then when you enable this, you will be clicking in the currency list. And if you want to add a new currency, the only thing that you have to do is to go to that currency, double click, and say, this currency is active. That's it, nothing else. Okay? And then here is where you keep your exchange rate updates. Is that clear?
Yes.
Remember, now the information is growing, the amount of information that you will be receiving, okay? So, that's simple. Once you have that, now in Magaya, you will have the possibility to create charges in your shipments and invoices and bills in as many currencies as you have activated there in your currency list. Okay? Where can I do that? Remember, in configuration, accounting, and then currency list. Once I have the enabled multi-currency here. Okay? If you see now that I activate a new currency, the home currency is gray out. I cannot change it anymore. It's already set up. So, here we have others configuration, like use exchange rate of transaction date, not current date. That is exactly what is stated that comment there. Use reverse exchange rate. That is most useful for countries where the dollar is not the home currency because they need to know how many in their currencies is a dollar instead of how many dollars is a currency. Got it? If you say, for example, my currency is Mexican pesos, right? So, what Magaya will do if you don't select this reverse exchange rate here, every time that you type the exchange rate will be 0 point something, because will be how many dollars is 1 peso. And normally the rate is how many pesos is a dollar. So that's why you need to click this, use the reverse exchange rate here. Okay? Magaya allows you, if you activate it, to receive payments in a currency different than the invoice currency. And that's it. Here you can configure like the first month of the fiscal year, the default accounts that comes with the system. But in case you want to use someone different, you can configure here. And then the same thing for the accounts and the configuration for the liquidation of the shipments. Okay? That is the general tab. Document numbers. Every time that you generate an invoice, a bill, or a check, you want to have a consecutive number. You have a control number there that you can configure. As default, Magaya will give you invoice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? But you can change that here if you come to set, and then you can add a prefix, a suffix, and then the number. Okay? And here is do not allow duplicated numbers. In case you need that, Magaya will control that, avoiding from you or anyone to type the same number twice. And then you can say, for example, okay, let's use a different number for credit memos than the invoices. That is something that you configure here. If you don't check that, invoices and credit memo will be following the same number. So cost for you for cargo system is not relevant. Here you can configure the taxes too. Okay? Taxes. Just for your information, I know that you won't be using mainly a lot of accounting stuff in Magaya, but this is taxes. You have here tax withholding, you have the option to use cascading taxes, and a lot of things. Magaya work with QuickBooks and Peachtree. Okay? You can export the invoice list, the bill list, and then import it into QuickBooks or into Peachtree. This is something that you can configure here in the integration part in accounting. Credit limits, that is very important. Here you can define what to do if your customer reach a credit limit. Let's say that you have a customer, and for that customer you will set a credit limit of, I don't know, $10,000 or $20,000. Once you do that, here you will define what will happen once that customer reach the credit limit. You can set up to receive, do not receive more cargo, do not accept more bookings, including online bookings, the delivery orders, or do not release cargo that you have already received from them. This is some of the options that Magaya give you. It doesn't mean that actually it won't happen. What it means here is that if the customer reaches the credit limit, and then you will do any of those actions here, Magaya will alert you, like, oh, this customer reached the limit of credit, will you do it? Will you do the limit? If you say yes, you will do it. Okay? So,
And let me ask you a question. So, if you set a credit limit in there, that goes back and looks at the cumulative total of all invoices across that customer?
say again.
When you set a credit limit in there, is that looking at an invoice level or across the customer or all their open invoices?
Yeah, all the company invoices.
The total.
The total.
Like the
The total, yes, the total. It's like a statement. If the statement is negative 2,000, boom.
But you'd have to be posting, so we just integrated this over into QuickBooks. So QuickBooks is a banking book. So they're applying payments in QuickBooks, not here.
Not put it back.
In order for this to work, they'd have to apply the payment back,
Yeah,
otherwise they're gonna pay it out.
yeah. Yeah, in order for this to work, you have to have everything in Magaya like accurate. You have to use account. At least the operational account, the operations account should be Magaya.
Cool, I have a question. So payments are applied in QuickBooks, so just as we upload the services, the invoices over to QuickBooks, can we export out of QuickBooks? Will Magaya take an import from QuickBooks of payments received?
No,
No,
no.
only as a first source.
Yeah,
But you can update manually, I guess, right?
you can just, once you have everything, let's say you report in QuickBooks, and let's say everything that customer pay, you can go back to Magaya. In only one payment, you can do everything. In only one, just to have that statement there. So, if you see here, we have the favorite thing. Every time that I use something more than once, it will be going up. Okay, Magaya offers you the option to do the denied party screen. Okay, if you have that plugin activated in Magaya, every time that you add a new customer or a new employee or a new customer, a new carrier or whatever entity in Magaya, it will be running a deny screen. You know, for those countries that are like blocked for doing commerce and everything, you have that option in Magaya too. So document numbers, the same thing that we saw for the accounting thing, you have it for any transaction in Magaya. Again, if you now go to Magaya and try to add a quotations, you will have quotation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you can change it. You can put something different. You can add I don't know, put the year or put your company or anything that you want to use to identify those quotations differently. Let's say I just want to add this here just to show you. Okay? And then once you do that, if you come back to the quotation list, you will see that here you have that format there, the quotation, and then the number 2, 2019. If you see, I do it in purpose. I used to put that slash here because if you do not separate the number, it will be everything together, and then the 2 and the 2019 is not clear there. So that's why I like to add in the...
May I ask you something?
Sure.
Just going back to the ports, is there, when you set up the ports, let's say you have a new port, is there any way to look there for the Schedule D or the Schedule K numbers?
Yes.
There.
You have
When
that.
you set them up, you can
Yeah.
do it? Sometimes I can't
Actually,
find-
it comes.
It should come
Yeah.
instead for you looking for
Yeah, it comes. And if you don't have it, I'm gonna show you. You can go to the list and just update. There is an option to update the list again. So this what I show you right now for the quotations. You will have it for everything, every transaction in Magaya. For the shipments, is a little bit more complicated. You have shipments, export and import shipments, but you also have you also have here masters, straight shipments, and houses, and then for every model, right? So if you don't do nothing, they would be just shipment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the house will be HBA 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, regardless anything. Okay, but if you want to differentiate that, you can just come here to set, and then whatever change you do here will be applying just for the export shipment. If you set here and do nothing, whatever you put here will be again for every single shipment. But if you set here different from export, and then you set a configuration here, and then you set another configuration here, you will have those numbers for every shipment, no matter if it is master, straight, whatever, the same for export, but different export from import. But you have the option to set, instead of setting here, to activate the difference between masters and then straight, let's say, and for air, you can put here something like air, right? And for ocean, and then here you can do the same. And once you have that, you can save. And then you have a different identification number for shipments: master, air, ocean, import, export. Okay? It is something that you can do it at your convenience. Right? So this is LiveTrack. Remember that we were talking about the communication suite there. LiveTrack is